fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. That fucking had one thing majorly wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Do you remember how he looked? Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno, you wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry. According to the cafeteria manager, the driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city.
Somehow that makes you feel scared. You don't know why.
Looking for something odd?
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? The little boy had it good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words, not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing, but okay.
It's implied he finds it unlikely that you will succeed in this.
And Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you! Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand? Fucking fuck.
I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea. Silence. He takes the photo. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. His face is unmoving. You see dead flesh in colorful rivers of polychrome, melting skin.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in. What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here? Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush in Benito, 41.
Benito is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminese archipelago near the Pale. Covered in jungle, it was...
He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes.
with some strange emotion. This is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe, we shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nigh. She was quite the entertainment. For the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason. The kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a big god. Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her coat. Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits might.
There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless, odorless. It's
No, I was somewhere else. That's just a guess as to what this one little star on his belly might mean. I'm just a bouncer.
Go ahead.
All right now. Free commerce!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of...
Oh, look.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? What are we going to do to you? The Union isn't going to do anything to you.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people.
The man ponders his cooking.
Fuck does Kuno care? So? Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna after this shit. You better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't fuck.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Where?
Everything's still cool here, officer.
woman is still hunched over.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
The unpromising raise pupil.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time. Most certainly, Harry. By all means, Harry. Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now...
Actually, Revachol doesn't have a mayor. He refuses to discuss it further. Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Let's hear it, Harry. It's Harry. Harry Dubois. No, I'm really not. You are Harry. Don't be silly, Harry. Harry Dubois, that's a real man's name. A union man's. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can. Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into...
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry. Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you? Well, yes. I'm sure you're going to make one little boy or a girl very happy and proud one day, Harry. Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. Well, you sure come off as very confident in all our interactions, Harry. Of course, Harry, of...
Yes?
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Marsh. On. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. surprisingly quiet. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest. The rusty control panel grows warm to the...
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action.
Before you stands a cargo container. Just one of them.
You do? Because I don't. There are 1 million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? You just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. No reply. A rusting control crane does not return to its original position. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material eaten up. Because it's nicer, it reveals no... This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. What happened here? It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Indeed.
moment.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk, no reply. It's a solid lump of metal. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get... This door has been closed with a padlock. But what are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the...
I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective.
He's just trying to help. Don't take it bad. Relax.
Perhaps you should give it another go.
The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a...
After you, Detective.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting. Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm. There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems. Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov? Sure you are.
The lieutenant doesn't even bother to reply to this.
You're alive and well. Yes, yes. How was it? I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Right. Now,
Some areas are...
As before, this is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. Again, a sudden bout of Sire, may we suggest something? Think of the yelling into the furnace as a grand performance. Use your chest voice, not your... A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
you're right. The rooms do look like they're connected.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. A lush layer of coal now covers you. You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. 3 dangerous stripes appear onto your cheeks, telling stories of...
What are you doing? Please wipe your face clean, officer.
No, you're a proud warrior. Keep it. These 3 stripes give you strength in this dangerous realm. It would be foolish to remove them.
And this protects you. Okay, sure. Go ahead. Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout.
Hello?
You've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the 2nd floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs.
After you, officer.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hit. You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge. You still...
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then. I thought we decided to leave it to processing.
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone asleep.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this mask. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelie is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then? Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then, the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney.
Creative.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like...
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemiteps Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an...
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect... Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists and, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her.
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hash, the usual, I imagine. But he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them?
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over...
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their... The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capital. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time. Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes.
Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girl, and by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that couldn't...
Fritte does the same thing.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile ape. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't doing his... He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while...
Sounds cool.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. As I said, it's quite useless right now. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure. My advice, don't base your business on a fad.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. I was just about to ask, what do you think?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? Oh, it's you again. Are you...
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding a... The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez.
He likes this find.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the Dune?
The narrative she's built herself. It does need tearing. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Oh, how horrid! Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse? What does that mean? Are you certain? Oh, but all that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse. Thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and
She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything. It will only last a day or two. A week tops.
All right then. All's well that ends well. Should we return to our ordinary life?
Hello again, sir.
She's still browsing books.
I know you are. What with?
Her hands move over the book covers. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind.
My husband? No, he's not. Excuse me? A bad husband? What do you mean? Do policemen just go around repeating what some kid off the...
She doesn't mean to be antagonistic, but she can't help coming off defensive.
Is she now? Annette's a sweet sprout, but she doesn't know anything about marriage. No, I don't. I have a good husband.
He's totally missing.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. No, absolutely not. Are you a policeman or a nanny? They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home.
Mm-hmm, I see. Thanks.
You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray.
What is happening?
She seems to be confused. Your hands are... The situation is oddly intimate. Your cheek is pressed against her shoulder. Her hand...
What are you doing, officer?
Less talk, more feeling. Keep your eyes closed. Soak in the closeness. See what the feeling entails.
Fighting for it how? Oh. I guess it's better than nothing. Keep fighting on, my fellow comrade. Is there anything else I can help you with?
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and as you tap on the gauge...
No, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights.
The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? No, and I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning. Anything else?
10-4, come in. Firework. Roger that.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Yeah, by friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ester 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home. I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
That was an unsure phrasing.
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal. So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy arm.
Yeah. Where are they now, huh?
These people are trained military professionals. Special forces, as you said. They're not a gang or a Barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think. Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth. The fuck is that supposed to mean?
We're not bees. We're men. We're socialists.
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What do you mean, okay? Yeah, just try not to get in the way. When
I think he meant a can of whoop-ass. Beneath the whoop-assery, it's clear that he appreciates all the help he can get.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now...
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
Yeah, I heard him. Now fuck do you think Let me state this very clearly, Capo.
But having Everard back you up like that did seem to have some effect.
I've got nothing to say to you.
Can I help you?
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant, he doesn't like where this is. This door can only be opened. Still, the lieutenant, he doesn't like where the window stands broke. The morning light hurts your eyes. Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. Nothing, just black tangle. There, working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
We are still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking. It's a Bell McGrave, 4.46 caliber, breech loading, Revachol made. Good weapon. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or...
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's not no one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that...
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? She is nobody.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
I have really outdone myself.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston.
René, it's a little pleasures. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire life. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some...
And then you stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the...
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Oh.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage. René and I were both by her bedside when she
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it?
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. She could never make up her mind about anything. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. So
he suddenly remembers you are still there.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really. No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the gauche caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip.
Respect?
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of union prick he can't even...
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Oh, yes. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but...
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
This orange machine is buzzing like a... Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying. It's all gone now. You'll never become a... You slip your fingers under the frozen lid. If you want to try again...
Equip the pry bar.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand cranked... The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand, they are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in. Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth. You're on the right track. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery. Can you feel it? You're so close. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with... You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut. Or an abrasion collar. This is what we're after. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here? This man will never sleep again. Never wake. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Ice-cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting, the inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the...
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on...
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you deserve it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back high velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. We have extensive tissue destruction away from the wound track. We have a bullet. And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had this doubt since I inspected his hands, officer. There were no signs of struggle. There have been other signs too. Small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here? Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, Detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
All right. There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands. I'll take...
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has, beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white... It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night for you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without someone who knows about history could tell you.
Vigilance officer? What can this old carabinier do for you? There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating. Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual. Revachol Fair of 91 in the Faubourg district. A parade was held to honor Guillaume Le Lion's name day. This was the happiest day of my life. I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found...
The Akira operation was a 7-year campaign, during which Suzerain Guillaume's army forcefully united the people.
I won her back. But while I was...
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you...
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? We're in Martinet, a casual term of endearment popular among...
She refers to your correspondent.
Martinez is a... You would be excused for not... I'm not a good...
A brief...
This place used to be a province. Yes, I was... It's not real... Yes.
Known to vast.
Caillou.
It is... And to humanity at large.
Revachol, the great...
As if itself...
History detective. The nations in the DeLorean said... They say it's... By that I mean... We are standing on a... I think it...
A collection of...
22 kilometers...
Silence. The water. There is no recognition.
We are where we are. I have...
This is one thought you need.
Was there something else you want? These are... For the big time. The revolution. It's quite... The liberals got them... Liberals. Some were rich. They didn't...
We.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. The coalition.
There is...
The moralist. At least this...
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Of course. Those would be...
She's not gloated.
Oh.
She likes the total...
Indeed. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves? Yes. Oh, lots of... The real king abdicated. Yes. Him and tens of thousands of his... The turn of the revolution. It wasn't a who, but a what. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course, from Revachol. Why?
Something tells you her life.
A city.
The clatter.
The zone of control. Modernity.
51 minus 8 equals...
Time flies. The 20s or the 30s.
All that untaxed income must have...
Yes. Welcome to...
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been...
I've no right. We could have had so much more. They are what they are. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? Glad to have been of assistance.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache. a ceiling height window.
Can I help you? Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we...
Oh, hello, dear. I didn't notice you at first. Oh my. What happened to the water lock? Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. You've spared me another sleepless night. Listen, sweetie, I hate to ask, but if your investigation happens, and if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may... Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? Ugh, alright, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time. No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for... I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it. Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets. It's...
Shoot, piggy.
Trying to sneak up on me again!
The lights are so pretty when it...
You sit on the wind-worn. You finally stop picking your nose. Time passes. The sun draws ever... This door is made of metal and appears to be... No one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back later. You sit on the wind. The twiddling barely.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
To the city. It's a beautiful night. We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any...
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally... That's really all I can tell you about it. The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of...
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether...
It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. Take your daily bread, for example. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the... You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Whatever you wish, officer. My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, one of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. But now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway. It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
A chill runs down your spine as you envision a half-dozen people in professional attire standing around a chair, awkwardly pretending to be...
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But between that, it's never going to happen. They enter negotiations in 21, and its EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and...
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. A supranational political alliance. You mean Revachol? No, it's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. Sorry, who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future. Yes, officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes. He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design? I'm just enjoying the view. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active. I'm all ears, officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. No. I mean, it was so strange. I could barely believe what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this. I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8? I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities. I went back inside. Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such... I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. All I can say is that it was late. My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with...
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged...
Sure, go ahead. It's a